Hello everyone, hope you are well. Two transfer rumours relating to what West Ham are ongoing with coming up today. An impromptu video with myself and Gonzo. How are you doing, first of all?
I'm not bad. Thank you, my friend. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, transfer rumours, straight into it. You've got Matheus Periera and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. What one do you want first? Take a pick.
Well, I feel I've spoken a lot about Periera, so let's have a bit of Oxlade-Chamberlain. What do you know?
Right.
What's the whispers?
The latest is that West Ham are. There's been rumours that we've been linked to Oxlade-Chamberlain recently, and I have to admit, I've been guilty of dismissing it. Right, I thought, oh, rubbish, never, no chance. We don't want him, injuries, etc., etc. But I have to admit, it seems he's quite high up the target list. It seems that he's quite, I would say, likely to join West Ham at this point. Now, what's important here is I'm not going to name the person because I don't know if he wants to be named, but the person that's suggesting that this is going to happen is the person that unofficially behind the scenes broke the news that Areola was having his medical on the day he had his medical. Because remember, Areola's medical come from nowhere, didn't it?
Yes.
We woke up one day and it was like, Areola's having his medical today, and everyone thought, whoa, hang on a minute, what? Didn't even know we'd had a deal agreed. He's just there. He's in London. And later that night, it got announced. That person that told people that medical was happening is suggesting that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is likely to join West Ham, which would surprise me, but I think it makes sense to a rumour you discussed the other day. Connor Coventry going on loan.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about it until you texted me this morning, and as the first I'd heard of it, obviously. Oxlade-Chamberlain, the more I look at it and the more I look at our squad, I think the way to go may well be adaptable players. And I look at someone like Ben Johnson, I think, well, all right, he might not be the best right back at the club, he might not be the best left back at the club, but the fact that he can play both, and at a stretch you might shoot him in at wing back, I know it's not ideal, but that allows some flexibility within the squad. That allows you to move some other players elsewhere. The central midfield's been a massive worry. Now, Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's best game, I might have this wrong, but I think it was for Arsenal against AC Milan. I might have it wrong. It was in the latter stages of Europe, certainly, a little while ago as well. But he played central midfield, and I thought he was a revelation there. Obviously, he's played a significant part of his career wide. So I can sort of understand that from the Coventry aspect, which was, he might well see him. These versatile players, Fornals is another one. Lanzini might be another one. Does David Moyes have enough in the pack to shuffle it around and play position? So maybe if it was Oxlade-Chamberlain, we'll get onto fitness in a minute, I'm sure. He were to play central, could also play wide. Number 10, he's versatile, isn't he, when fit, of course.
Yeah, I think if it was a loan deal and we signed a other midfielder, whether it's Periera or another one, I'd get it. I think it would make sense. Low risk, possibly high reward, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out kind of thing. But I do feel it's a little bit, I don't know, it contradicts the plan to some extent. You say, well, we want rid of Felipe Anderson because he's on high wages, probably won't play much. Want rid of Yarmolenko, high wages, won't play much. So let's get in this guy, high wages, and historically, he doesn't play very much. What I will say, I got a pleasant surprise that I've seen that Oxlade-Chamberlain was in 25 of Liverpool's Premier League squads last season. Now, he didn't play in them all. Some of them, he was an unused sub in some of them. But that's quite a large portion of the season he was available for selection for. And if he was fit, if he didn't have injury concerns, he'd be too good for West Ham. I think he would be. I think the ability is there. And I don't think anyone doubts that. It's a bit like the Phil Jones thing a week or two ago when we got like the Phil Jones. And I see, and West Ham fans laughed at it. And in my opinion, rightly so. But no one is saying Phil Jones isn't good enough for West Ham. People were saying Phil Jones is permanently broken. That's why we don't want him. And I think Oxlade-Chamberlain is very similar to the thing of Phil Jones, which is if you can keep him fit, you've got a fantastic player in your hands, a really good option for the squad. But it's keeping him fit. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. It's been a bit of a disaster remove to Liverpool, but when he has been fit, he's been a big part of the squad and he's played very well for them. And this is the team that won the Champions League and won the Premier League title and is favourites for the title again once more. So great player, but it comes with a big risk, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mindful of getting agitated about something that hasn't happened yet. And when I say agitated, I don't want to start saying things like, when will the club ever learn? And because we haven't done it yet, we might not be doing it. But that's the first thing that springs to mind, isn't it? You think Jack Wilshere. Now, there's another way to think aside from Jack Wilshere, and that's Jesse Lingard, of course. Now, obviously, Lingard doesn't have his injury record, and I absolutely get that. But you get one of these players who is, as you say, possibly too good for West Ham if everything's going right. And they can turn out like Jesse Lingard, but there is the flip side of the coin, and that is Jack Wilshere. So I think what's key here is price. Do you know anything on how much he would cost? Are we talking a free transfer?
I was about to say, I can't even tell you if it's a permanent or a loan. It could be a loan deal for all I know. It could be a loan deal. This is something else that's important to remember, because while we are chasing Periera on loan, you are allowed 2 English loans. Areola doesn't count. He's a foreign loan, does not count towards the quota. Sure. Because we were in that situation last season. We had Ben Rama and Dawson. One of the Lingard wanted to sign up Ben Rama quick. So it is possible to end up with Areola, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Matheus Periera all on loan. So I don't know if it's a permanent, a loan, free, a fee. I could not tell you.
Okay. Well, I think this is Liverpool paid 30 million for him from Arsenal. So that probably shows the kind of quality you're dealing with. It wouldn't surprise me either way. It wouldn't surprise me if we did sign him. And here's a funny thing. I'm not hedging my bets. I'm not making a prediction. But it wouldn't surprise me if we signed him and he did really, really well. He was one of our best players. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he broke down. You mentioned the 25 games that he was available for. I had a bit of deja vu then. Because when we signed Wilshere, actually, his last season at Arsenal, he played and was available for quite a number of their games. So there was the suggestion that maybe Jack is fixed. I don't. It's a real shame with players of this kind of talent, because it's not like they've wasted their career. No one asks to be injured. They really don't. But you look here, and all of a sudden, I don't know how old Oxlade-Chamberlain is.
27.
Before you answer, sorry. I was just about to say that.
27.
I was just about to say, the trouble is with these talented people, they get injured, and before you know it, they're 27, 28. I was just about to say that. And and the career sort of passes them by, and they have to go and then do something. Whenever I heard him speak, he's an intelligent guy. He really is. He speaks really well about the game. His father was Mark, was a really good player, and there's a lot to like about him. A fit Oxlade-Chamberlain plays for England, or it certainly would have been in and around the squad. But we can't afford somebody that gets injured a lot. So you'd want a rigorous medical, and even then you'd still be a little bit worried about it, certainly. But he needs to reinvigorate his career. He's not going to do anything at Liverpool next season, because whilst he might be too good for West Ham, he ain't good enough for Liverpool now.
So hypothetically, Oxlade-Chamberlain on loan, Gonzo approval?
On loan, yes. No risk there at all, yes.
Oxlade-Chamberlain on a permanent, even if it was free, but a 3-year deal or something, still got the Gonzo approval, or a little bit more wary?
Well, this is the thing. Wilshere was on a 3-year deal, and it cost an absolute fortune because he was on $100,000 a week. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Do you remember Mido? He came to West Ham. I'm not suggesting Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's so desperate to play football, he took $1,000 a week. Do you remember?
Yeah, and Sullivan said he's only on £1,000 a week. What could go wrong?
Absolutely. But I'm not suggesting Oxlade-Chamberlain takes $1,000 a week, but use Mido as an example, because there was a desire there to play football. So I think, if he were to come and take a massive pay cut and he was on a pay-as-you-play, I don't know, I'm making his deal up for him, $25,000 a week and then 40 for every game you play, or whatever, or something like that, and there was no massive liability, then yeah, by all means, a 3-year deal. But a 3-year deal that cost us tens of millions, no, I think that's a bad idea as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a loan deal would be good, actually. I'd be all for a loan deal this one. We're going to need players going forward. We struggle with a replacement for Souček and Rice. And while he's not a defence midfielder, he can play centre mid, he can play wide. He can play about 6 different positions or something out of our starting 11. Like you said, there is a massive similarity to the Jesse Lingard situation, which was on the fringes of Liverpool, on the fringes of Man U, has a point to prove. Once back at the England squad, but he ain't getting it where he currently is. So if he wants into the England squad for the World Cup, which is extremely unlikely, but you would have said that about Lingard as well to some extent before when he arrived at West Ham, getting the England squad for the Euros, no chance. I mean, technically, those people were right. He didn't get into the England squad in the end, but he come damn close. And I think Oxlade-Chamberlain is a similar sort of concept for Moyes. And I could see why Moyes would be interested in Oxlade-Chamberlain because he does tick a lot of boxes. English as well, homegrown. I think a loan deal would be perfect. Permanent deal, I'd be a bit cautious with that one because it's a big financial commitment for the club there. But the second one is Matheus Periera. Roughly half an hour ago, has put up his own official statement. There's been a lot of rumours around him. Where is he going to go with the Saudi Arabian club in the mix as well as West Ham? Some rumours that Leicester City perhaps are interested in him. The West Brom manager confirmed earlier today that they need to sell him. The West Brom manager basically said, we need him gone. He's not part of the squad. The season starts at the weekend. We need him out. Matheus Periera himself has released a statement. I'm not going to read it out because it's massive. It is really long. There's about 6 paragraphs. Oh. But essentially, summed up, Periera himself has said, I want to leave West Brom. I want to do it the proper way. I've been trying to do it the proper way. But people are almost speaking on behalf of me, etc. And that's not what I want to do. I've really enjoyed my time at West Brom. However, I've had a life-changing deal presented to me at the age of 25, which would give me financial security. And he basically confirmed that he wishes to leave West Brom. Now, some journalists around West Brom are suggesting that it does not necessarily mean the Saudi Arabian club, despite what some people might assume, including myself, and that he wants to play in the Premier League. So, Gonzo, I take this as good news. I think it's going to go under the radar a little bit because of Harry Kane, but this is now the player and the manager saying he needs to leave and the player saying, I want to leave. This is the perfect situation for a buying club, if you ask me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I switched my mic. Somebody said, thank you, by the way. Somebody said, like I sounded like a 1970s commentator. So we can't have that. So now hopefully I'll sound like a 1960s commentator. Good news? I don't know. I hope so. You know what I said earlier about Oxlade-Chamberlain and about him having the desire to play Premier League football, to take a pay cut, to say, do you know what, money isn't everything. I'm already a millionaire. It's okay, you know, 40 grand a week. I don't have to be 140. 40's fine. And 40 grand a week is fine for us all, isn't it, really? Let's be perfectly honest. I would hope that you're right there, because if this life-changing offer is about him going to Saudi Arabia, then I would have no interest in him at all. If that's what he wants to do, feather his nest, and in his absolute prime, it would show that he would value money above being one of the best players in the Premier League, and that's sort of ambition. See, and I think when you're choosing between the two, it's not choosing between if you stay in the Premier League, you're a pauper. And if you go to Saudi Arabia, you're the richest man in the world. No, you can be in the Premier League and drive a Lamborghini around and have whatever house you want. So I don't think it's a massive choice. I would hope if he's chosen to be in the Premier League and it's for ambition and it's for footballing reasons, then I do feel it's really, really good. And I think he's delicious as a player. You know, I really do. I love the way this guy plays football. I love the left foot. I love the misdirection. I love the way he finds space. I've done it to death talking about his set pieces. Everyone's bored of hearing about it, I'm sure. Would give us such an added edge as well. I really want this guy. This is the guy I want, and I feel he's the right age profile, and I feel I've just made that up, that Saudi Arabia thing, by the way. You know, I hope that's not the case. Hopefully he is just football motivated. And this is going to be someone that wants to prove himself. He's played, obviously, he's played in Portugal, isn't he? He's Brazilian. I want him to have the ambition to get to wear the, I've forgotten the kit colour, the blue shorts and the yellow top, much like yourself, Geo, at the moment. You look a bit slightly Brazilian. Must have been that wax earlier, but I would want him to have that ambition to play for Brazil. And if you can get a player that has that ambition, we can get him at Stam. That would be a massive move for us, and that would really improve us. It's all about improving the team on last season. So we have to keep Declan Rice. We have to either re-sign Jesse Lingard, because at the moment we're worse because we've left Jesse Lingard. So you either have to re-sign Jesse Lingard or get someone comparable or better than Lingard. We're still status quo then. We're still exactly the same. So we need to go and then get the striker. So we're at least a player better than last season. We might have done it a little bit with the keeper, but the keepers ain't going to quite do it. But I like this guy. You know that.
Yeah, I don't mind players wanting money. I don't mind that too much because it's life. They need money. They want money. I doubt he's on much wages at West Brom. You know, we can probably double his wages overnight for him if he wanted. And that's why, if he comes here because of money, then so be it. You know, I'm pretty sure Souček came here because of money. I'm pretty sure if you go back early on, this is said he doesn't like London, but he come because it's a Premier League and his money. But since then he's probably changed his mind a little bit. He's probably started to enjoy London life. He's probably found a way of settling in and playing for an East London club. Are
you suggesting he didn't like the Stratford Centre initially?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I think it's Westfield. I think he's keen on Westfields. I think it's all that goal signs after the whole match when he's trying to get into his car to leave. I don't think he's keen on that. but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Honestly, I really don't mind it. I think this is good news for a buying club. I think what this does, basically the manager saying someone come and get him, and the player saying someone come and get me, essentially. Now West Brom have put themselves in a position where they've got no negotiating power whatsoever when it comes to selling this guy. They've got to get him out ASAP. Their season kicks off this weekend. They need money in order to go and sign players. Now, this Saudi Arabian club are almost insulting West Brom with their offers. Do you know their first offer was about 5 million?
I know.
5 million?
I think they're insulting the Premier League by trying to get a player, you know, like that over there. I think it's a non-competitive league. But I'm not saying it's not competitive. The teams in the league might be equally crap, so it might be competitive. But what they're not is comparable to the Bundesliga or the Premier League or Serie A. So I think it's actually, why would he want to? I just don't get it.
I don't know, but their first offer, I think they've made 2 offers now, and even the second one went from like 5 million, which was rejected. I think it went to about 7.5 million over 5 years.
Well, it sounds like Sullivan. Was Sullivan doing it?
It's worse. It's worse than Sullivan. I believe that West Brom want the money over 18 months. I think they're trying to get the cash in quick so they can go and spend it and give the manager the best chance of getting up to the Premier League and stuff. West Ham, as I understand, they're trying to get him on loan with an obligation, not an option to buy, a commitment to purchase him in 12 months' time, which is interesting because I would suggest that we're keeping our money for someone else. We've got a goalie in. We're possibly looking at Oxlade-Chamberlain on loan. We're trying to get Periera in on loan. That would suggest that we've kept our pile of cash, regardless how big it is. It might be quite a small pile, but we're keeping the small pile of cash for something else or someone else, which would be interesting. I feel more confident about Periera than I did a week ago, for example. I just think that this situation that they've got now, it's like the Dimitri Payet situation. Do you know, we had him and he wanted out. We just had to get rid of him. West Brom are now in that situation. They've just got to get rid of him. And whether he wants to go to Saudi Arabia or not, it could be that in a week's time, West Ham are the only club with an offer on the table that West Brom will accept. So I don't know. I've got a feeling we're going to get Periera now. That's just a vibe. Whereas the Oxlade-Chamberlain was more trustworthy news source, if you like. But
well, you know what? I feel a bit sorry for West Brom. I've got to be honest with you. And you know, anyone that signs him, I think you still sign him. I'm not saying don't sign him. Anyone that signs him, be aware he has the capacity to do this. He may do it. He may do it to you as well. Whoever signs him. I feel a bit sorry for West Brom because we've been in that situation ourselves, and it's the last thing you need really when you're looking to try and get promoted. Particularly if your main asset, you need to be able to hold out. But you're right. He's put them in a terrible situation now. What situation we know all about. The power has all gone to the buying club. They're not going to get it over 18 months. I don't care what anyone says. There's not the finances in football unless, I was going to say, unless Barcelona is skint, by the way. They say they've had to spread Lionel Messi's wages over an ambassadorial role. Everyone's comparatively skint by different means. But if someone can spread the payments, if someone signs on a 5-year contract, the payments have to be spread over 5 years. That's how it's normally done. Unless there's a very, very rich club like Man City who can probably afford the 18 months, which they don't want him. They want to buy Grealish. they're not going to get this paid over 18 months. Maybe the 5 million from Saudi Arabia as the tuppence from Saudi Arabia, they might say, I'll give it to you now. But if they're going to sell him for 20 odd million, they're not going to get it over 18 months. They're just not.
Interesting. Anyway, should we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
Some interesting news with the progression, if you like, of perhaps Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joining West Ham and Matheus Periera inching a step closer to the door at West Brom. He's basically twerking for West Ham Leicester now, isn't he? He is. You say, come and get me. Come on, I'm here. I'm available. Oh no,
I can't do it. I can't do it. It looks ridiculous. It looks pathetic, actually. My twerk is not it's not a quality twerk. Put it that way.
Not a sex move for the.
It's not sexy. It's not. The subscriber count would start going down. It wouldn't be like a whole rush of ladies thinking, "Oh, I want to sign up that Hammers chat." You see that fella twerking? No. I'd probably pass wind when I was doing it or something like that. It would definitely put people off.
Yeah, you'll be like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, injured.
I would. Broken from twerking. There you go.
Anyway, right, we're going to disappear. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll catch you in a bit.